Over here, we have some data in Excel, and we have some charts showing here. You are going to be given this particular file to study and answer some key questions. For example, over here we see a question mark, and your job will be to write a function that will perform the calculation for January and review the results here. All right, good morning once again. All right, how you all doing? All right, so our first lesson is going to be on Microsoft Excel. And this particular program, we've heard a lot about it. People talk about Excel, people use Excel, people say it's important to learn Excel. Some people are good in Excel, some people are not good in Excel, some people know how to use computers, but the only thing they don't know is Excel. So what at all is this program, and why should we learn it? So our job here is to get into it and look at why Excel is important and how it is used and what it is used for. And some of the exercises we will do today will give you a practical feel of what businesses do with Excel. But the first thing I'll tell you is that Excel is an important program to learn. If you use computers, you want to use computers, you want to understand computers, you need a program to be able to do your work effectively. One of the best programs you can think of is Excel. So what is Excel? First of all, you need to know that Excel is a spreadsheet software program. Excel is a spreadsheet software program. Now, what is a spreadsheet? We've been hearing a lot about spreadsheet. Anytime we talk about Excel, we hear spreadsheet. We hear spreadsheet management. So what is a spreadsheet? We'll be talking about it in some few minutes. First of all, keep in mind that Excel is a spreadsheet software program that is used to organize data for the purpose of analysis, calculation, and reporting. It is used across all business functions and in companies from small to large. Excel was developed by Microsoft Corporation for Windows, Mac OS, Android, and iOS. These are different operating systems. Excel was launched in 1985 and was first released in 1987. Since then, Excel has remained the industry-leading spreadsheet software program in the world. I knew Excel so many years ago. 20 years ago, Excel was the leading spreadsheet program. 30 years ago, Excel was a leading spreadsheet program. And today, Excel is still the leading spreadsheet software program. Now, what is a spreadsheet? Or what is a spreadsheet software? A spreadsheet software is a computer program that stores data in the cells of a table, organized in rows and columns, and can be manipulated and used in analysis and calculations. We all know that businesses depend on data for decision making. Serious businesses do not make decisions that are not backed by data. They use data to make those decisions. Now, how do you analyze your data to be able to get information out of your data? You need a program that can allow you to input your data, help you to be able to analyze the data, and get the insights you need. Before data becomes useful for decision making, it goes through a lot of process. If you look at the diagram here, you can see that data travels from here to this point and it becomes wisdom. How does data become wisdom? When you have data, data is raw material. Data is information you collect from the street or you collect from the shop or day-to-day records that are kept. So you collect your data, you organize it, but you need to be able to analyze your data to get what we call information. When data is not analyzed, we don't get information. So there's a difference between data and information. Information is when our data gives us something. Let's say we have a supermarket that keeps recording daily sales. Whatever you record is a data. But after a month, you can analyze your data and get to know that one product is doing better than another product. What you are getting is no longer data, it is what? Information. So information comes from data. Now, when our information is studied for a while, we no longer have what we call information, we have what we call knowledge. Because when you study the information, after a while, you will know how things work. You will understand your business. You will know what works and what doesn't work. That is when your information has followed a pattern and has been around for some time. So from data, we move to information. From information, we move to knowledge. And once we have knowledge, we can now make decisions. And the decisions we will make will be the right decisions because the decisions are backed by data, are backed by facts. And companies do not make decisions just like that. They don't make decisions from assumptions and all that. They make decisions based on data. So before you get to making right decisions that are wise decisions, data needs to travel through a process. Which computer program can help you move your data to wisdom level? That program is Microsoft Excel. That program is Microsoft Excel. What makes spreadsheet software programs unique is the ability to calculate values using mathematical formulas and functions. With Excel, you'll be able to perform calculations within your data, and you'll be able to use what we call formulas and functions. Why should we learn Excel? Or why should we use Excel? Microsoft Excel is perhaps the most important computer software program used in the workplace today. That is why so many workers and prospective employees are required to learn Excel to enter or remain in the workplace. In today's working environment, without a proficiency in Excel, you could end up losing your job. Excel is extremely important. There was a time that someone walked in here that he really wants to learn Excel. He needs it badly. And I asked him why he wants to know Excel. He told me that he just lost a very important opportunity because he didn't know Excel. In their company, there was an opening for a certain position, and there were two candidates who could occupy that position, and he and someone else was selected, but he couldn't get it just because he didn't know Excel. So he rushed here that he wants to learn Excel. You don't have to wait for Excel to create a problem for you. You don't have to wait for the time that you will lose an opportunity. Excel is one of the computer programs you are required to learn. So just learn it. The effective use of Excel helps organizations and businesses to make the right decisions based on data, understand trends, lower costs, reduce risks, and design better operational processes. Before I open to the program, we need to know what a workbook is and what a worksheet is. We've heard of spreadsheet, and we say a spreadsheet is a software program that is made up of rows and columns and cells. And the data are stored in cells, and the data can be manipulated and used in analysis and what? Calculations. That is what we call a spreadsheet or a spreadsheet program. Excel is a spreadsheet program. Excel is not the only spreadsheet program in the world. There are other spreadsheet programs. But Excel is still the leading spreadsheet software in the world. Google has their own spreadsheet program. Excel belongs to which company? Excel belongs to which company? Microsoft. That's why we call it Microsoft Excel. Google also has their spreadsheet program. They call it Google Sheets. Because it's a spreadsheet program, when you open it, it looks just like Excel. It's called Google Sheets. Apple also has their spreadsheet program. They call it Numbers or iWork Numbers. When you open it, it looks like Excel. You see those boxes and those cells because it's a spreadsheet program. There are a number of spreadsheet programs out there. But what is a workbook or a worksheet? Now, a workbook is an Excel file that contains one or more worksheets. So when you use Excel to create a file, the file is called a workbook. We also have what we call worksheets. A worksheet or sheet is a single page in an Excel workbook. So when we open to Excel and you look at the bottom, you are going to see a number of sheets. If you have one, you can create more if you like. So here I see sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3, sheet 4. They are just like pages, but we don't call them pages in Excel. We call them what? Sheets or worksheets. Now, each worksheet in Excel contains 1,048,576 rows and 16,384 columns. Let me open to Excel and show you what I mean. So this is my Excel about to open. This is Excel 2019. And when Excel opens, this is how it looks like. The program we've been talking about, this is exactly how it looks like. Let me zoom in here for you to see well. And when you check Excel, you are going to see that it is made up of boxes. Can you see the lines? Okay. But we can see a lot of boxes, and the whole program is full of boxes. Those boxes are called cells. And these cells are created by columns. These are called columns. And these are called what? Rows. So when the columns and rows meet, they create the boxes called cells. Now, the question is, how many columns are there in Excel? How much data can you put on one worksheet? From what we read, it said we have 16,384 columns. Wait a minute, I thought they were A, B, C, D. Now the columns are labeled from A, B, C, D going. So we have A. Where do you think it ends? Now, you may think it will end as Z, but Excel doesn't end as Z. When you keep on moving, they will start again. AA, AB. Can you see? So if you move to the far right, and before you get to the far right, you have to go through 16,000 columns. Each one of these is one column. You need to go through 16,000 to be able to get to the last column. A shortcut that will lead you to the last column is Control and the right arrow key. When you press Control and the right arrow key, you get to the very, very last column. Most people have never seen the last column before, but this is the last column. It is labeled XFD. All right. The rows are also numbered. So when you come here, you see that the rows have numbers. And in Excel, each cell can be used for calculation. And each cell has a specific name. And to use the program, you need to be able to reference any cell you want to use by knowing the names of all the cells. We are able to get the names of the cells by using the column letters and the row numbers. And so when I click here, you can tell the name of this cell by the column, what you see up here, the column numbers here or column letters here, and the row number. So when you look here, you can see the name written here in what we call the name box. All right. Let me go back to the first column. I'll hold Control and press my left arrow key, and it will take me to the very first column. So the first column is labeled what? The first column is A. The second column is what? B. Now, when I click on this cell, who can tell me the name of this cell? B2. How do you know it's B2? Pardon?
B and 2 is highlighted.
Okay, B and 2 are highlighted. Okay. Okay. But the cell we are having here is made up of column B and row what? 2. So that is why it is called B2. And so when you look into the name box, you will see that B2 is written there. Now what I want you to do now is to open to Excel and tell me the name of the very first cell. Open to Excel on your machine and tell me the name of the very, very first cell. It's called A1. All right, A1. Now, I want you to move to the very last column and tell me the name of the top right cell. The top right cell. XFD1. Excellent. Now, I want someone else to tell me the last row number in Excel. I want you to move there. From what we've learned right now, I want you to move to the last row number. I gave you a shortcut. Move to the last one and tell me the row number of the very, very last. Excellent. Good. That same way, we can move to the far right and we'll see the very, very last cell. What is the name of the very, very last cell at the bottom right?
SFD 1,014,576.
Excellent. So Microsoft Excel is made up of cells. So there are several cells in Excel. So it says that each worksheet in Excel contains 1,048,576 rows and 16,384 columns. So we will look at some of the features in Excel, and we'll start a very quick exercise with it. All right, now let me close Excel and open it again. To open to Excel, you need to click on the Start menu, and you can just start typing Excel, EXCEL, and Excel should show up here. When you click on it, Excel will open. When it is opening, you will see the splash screen. This is called a splash screen, where you see the version of Excel you are using, and sometimes you will not see the version. And you have to understand that Excel has several versions. Please, are you here? We have Excel 2010, we have Excel 2013, 2016, and 2019. The latest one is 2019. They release Excel every 3 years. So right from 1985 or 1987 that Excel was released, every 3 years we get a new version. So right now the latest version is Excel 2019. So once it opens, you are going to see the welcome screen, and the welcome screen will allow you to either start a new workbook. Remember, we said Excel files are called what? Workbook. So this is a workbook. You click here to start a new workbook, or if you have some work you've already done, you can click on open and look for it, or check through this list and find it. So if you are starting afresh, you click on new workbook or blank workbook, and Excel will open. So this is the user interface of Excel, and there are 1 or 2 features you need to know about Excel to start using it. First of all, I'll talk about the quick access toolbar at the top left here. Quick access toolbar. So from the notes, you will see that it is called quick access toolbar. It is a toolbar at the top here with the commands you see over here. It is called a quick access toolbar because we put commands that we want to access quickly. And so the first command we see here is what? Save. It is very important to save your work. So anytime you are working, you should be able to get easy access to save. To click on save. We have undo, we have redo, we have print, we have open, we have new. And if you want, you can click down here and add more commands to your quick access toolbar. When you click on more commands, you get access to several commands. So the purpose of the quick access toolbar here is to help you get quick access to the frequently used commands that you use in Excel. So if you have some commands you use a lot, you can put them here. Next, we have what we call the ribbon. The ribbon is the giant toolbar that has several tabs over here. It is called ribbon. If you learn other Microsoft programs or Microsoft Office programs, you see that they have the ribbon on all their Office programs. So on the ribbon, you can see file here. We'll talk about file very soon. But after file, what do you see? Home. And after home, insert. These are called tabs. Tabs. They are called tabs. If you have the 2019, you will see that they've added a new tab called the draw. We have this tab called page layout. We have formulas, data, review, view, help, and of course we have our tell me. So Excel also has the tell me. The tell me is an amazing feature in Excel and other Office programs that helps you get access to commands that you need, but probably you do not know where to find them. So in tell me, whatever you want to do, you click inside and you just type what you want. Let's say you want to print and you don't know where to find print. Just come to tell me and type print. Once you type print, print will show down here. In your tell me, I want you to type data validation and tell me if you find data validation, because you may want to validate your data but you may not know where it is, and so when you type it over there, it will just list it. I'm not telling you to click on it, just type it over there and let me know if you see data validation.
Yeah.
You see it?
Yeah.
Okay, let's say you need some charts, so type chart. Excellent. So there are over 100 commands in Excel. Some of them you may not remember where to find them, so you go to the tell me, you just type it there and it's going to show. Excellent. All right, so like I was saying, these things here are referred to as what? They are referred to as tabs. They are referred to as tabs. Now, click on the data tab. Click on the data tab. Are you there?
Yeah.
Good. Now, on the data tab, when you come in, you are going to see something written here on my screen. You can see that I have sort and what? This sort and filter, kindly locate it on your machine. Have you located it? Okay, this thing right here is called a group. It's called a group. It is called a group because there are several commands that are related to that group. So in Excel, we have the tabs and we have groups, and in the groups we have related commands. So whenever you are asked to go to a certain tab and a certain group, you have to understand that the tab is on top of the ribbon and you need to find a group down here. Are you with me? Now, I want you to tell me the commands you find on the Home tab and the Styles group. Okay. Conditional formatting, format as tables and what? Excellent. So it is very important to note that you have to locate your commands in groups on the tabs. All right. I want you to locate the cells group and click on the arrow under format and locate auto fit column weight. Auto fit column weight. Have you seen it? Okay, I said on the Home tab, cells group, under format, there's a command called format. You see an arrow, click on the arrow and locate what we call auto fit column weight. Have you found it? Okay, good. Now, you need to understand that in Excel we have columns. And the columns are having what? Width. Now, sometimes you may need to open the columns. Sometimes you may need to open the columns and put in some data, or the information you put in the columns may not be enough, or the width of the column may not be enough for the information you have in. For example, let's type in column M1, let's type validation. Have you typed validation? Yes. All right. And in cell N1, also in caps, type customization. Cell N1, type customization. N1. So the first one, the validation should be in M1. The customization should be in N1. Excellent. It has entered into the N1. But still click on the N1 and type the customization. It's mixed up. Excellent. That's exactly what I want you to see. Now, in working in Excel, you will need to be able to manipulate the columns and the rows, because sometimes the data you put in the cells may be longer than the cells, and you may get a wrong feedback that you do not expect, and so you need to know how to move around or work around it. Now let's click on the column M. You realize that to click on column M, you see an arrow on top of M. When you put your mouse on M, you see an arrow. Just click on the arrow and the column M will be highlighted. You can see that the validation is not showing in full, right? Validation is not showing in full. Now with the column M highlighted, let's go to the auto fit column weight. Locate the auto fit column weight and click on it. Auto fit column weight. Click on it and tell me what happens. It has what? It has readjusted itself, and it is because the command says automatically fit the width of the column. That's what auto fit column weight stands for. So sometimes when something crosses into the next cell, it does not mean it is in the next cell. It is still in the original cell. All you have to do is to open the width of the column. With the column N, you can see that the customization has crossed over into the O, right? All right. We can use the auto fit column weight to fix it, or use a different method. Let me show you the different method. Look at where I have positioned my mouse. Kindly do that and let me see. You see that it will change, the mouse cursor will change into this black cross. Have you seen it? Yeah. Just double click on it. If you see that cross, double click on it and tell me what happens. It has opened automatically. This is the same as the auto fit column weight. When you double click in between the columns, you apply the auto fit column weight. Auto fit simply means it should fit it automatically, and so it will not add too much space after the text in it, and it will make sure it fits in based on the text you have in. Now if you want more space, or if you want to fit it manually, then when you see that cross, you click and drag it to open. So I want you to open the column M manually. So come in between the M and N and open it manually. Do you see some numbers as you open? Okay. Are they in pixels? If it's in pixels, make sure you have 12 pixels. If you can get, or anything close to 12 pixels is fine. Then the column N, open it to 15 pixels. All right. So you have seen that the columns can be adjusted. That same way, when it comes to the rows, can we adjust the rows? Now the rows are numbered. Can you see the numbers? I want you to come in between 2 and 3 and make the 2 a little bit taller.
Sir,
Yes.
the column N, it's like, that's not fit in the column.
Okay. Okay, you've gotten to the 15. Okay, still open it some more. Make sure it fits in well and the customization is in well. All right, so the row height too can be adjusted. So increase the height of the row. Increase the height of the row 2. Have you done that? Okay, increase the height of row 5 as well. to something like 45 pixels. So we are doing these things just for you to see how you can manipulate the cells. Let's go back and check some of the other features in Excel. We are still talking about the ribbon. And so I said, please, are you here? Okay, so we said the ribbon is the giant toolbar at the top that is having the tabs. Now I'm going to hide the ribbon, and when the ribbon is hidden, you actually know what we call the ribbon. To hide the ribbon, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to click on any of the tabs, like the home tab, and I'm moving to the far right. When I move to the far right, you are going to see an arrow over here. Kindly locate that arrow for me. And that arrow, when you put your mouse on it, what does it say? Have you located that arrow? Okay, click on that arrow. And whatever disappeared is the ribbon plus the tabs. So whatever disappeared plus the tabs is what we call the ribbon. Now, when your ribbon is collapsed, you collapse it to get more space to work if you need more room to work. You can still access the ribbon because the tabs are still showing. Click on the data tab and locate data validation for me. Click on data tab and locate data validation. Has anyone seen it? Yeah. Okay, on the data tab you have found data validation, right? Yeah. Okay, good. So it means if you want the tab, if you want the ribbon, you can still get access to the ribbon. Now, in which group did you find the data validation? Data tools group. Excellent. Excellent. So we are taking a quick tour of the program, and we are just finding some of the important features and where they are located. Under the sort and filter group, do you see filter? Do you see sort? Do you see A to Z and Z to A? Excellent. All right, now click inside your cells and you see that the ribbon is hidden again, right? All right, so the ribbon can show or hide. I want us to click on any of the tabs and move to the far right again, and you see another icon there. This time it's not an arrow, it looks like a pin. When you put your mouse on it, what does it say? Pin the ribbon. Click on it and tell me what happens. Okay, so the ribbon has been brought back. Most of the time the ribbon needs to show to help you locate what you need easily. It is best to show your ribbon, but if you need room, it is possible to hide your ribbon. So this is what we call the ribbon. So we've learned what the ribbon is, we've learned what the tabs are and what the groups are. Excellent. Now, the first tab here, when you click on it, it's called File, right? Click on File, and when you click on File, the window you see is called the Backstage View. In the Backstage View, you get access to your previous workbooks you've worked on. You get the chance to start a new workbook. You get the option to be able to print and several other commands over here. This is called the Backstage View. All right, click on the top arrow, the arrow at the top, and you return back to the program. Okay, let's locate one or two more features and we will start some real work with Excel. Over here we have a special box here, And this box here, put your mouse on it and tell me what it's called. No, I didn't say the group. I said this box here. Put your mouse on it and tell me the name of that box. It's called what? Name box. Good. All right, so that box is called what? Name box. The name box, who can tell me what it does? At least from what you've seen, what does the name box do? Excellent. So any cell you select is called the active cell, and the active cell, the name of the active cell will be shown in the what? Name box. So any cell you select, you can immediately see the name in the name box. I'm going to select one and I'm going to ask you the name of the cell. What is the name of the cell I've selected? How did you know it's called D3? Okay, because you find D3 in the name box. Is that not it? And you can also tell the name by looking at the column and what? And the row. So this is cell D3. Now, apart from that, we use a name box to locate cells. Not only does it tell us the names of cells, we use it to locate cells. So go into the name box and type something. You are going to type B2. Type B2 and press enter and tell me what happened. Type B2 and press enter and tell me what happened. Has it located B2?
Yes.
Okay, I want you to type E15, E15 and press enter and tell me what happened. Did it locate E15? Excellent. So the name box tells you the name of the active cell, which is extremely important. It also helps you to locate any cell you are looking for. Is that okay? I'm going to add something else or one more function of the name box. Yes.
When you put the cursor in the name box, right?
Yes, in the name box. Click inside. Click. Don't just put it there. Click and type. You can click and type. Or you can click, clear what is there and type. And enter. Excellent. Have you found it? You found it. Okay, the third function of the name box is that it helps you to rename cells. It helps you to do what? Rename cells. So with your mouse, click on cell B3. Just click on cell B3 yourself. Don't type it. Just click on B3. Have you done that? In the name box, what do you see? B3, eh? Okay, now click inside the name box and type Ghana in the name box and press enter. Type Ghana in the name box and press enter. Good. Have you done that? Now, whenever you type something in the name box, the first thing the name box does is to check all the available cells to see if there is a cell by that name. If it finds any cell by that name, it will locate it for you. If it doesn't find, then it will rename the active cell with the name you have entered. Click on cell C3 and rename cell C3 as Nigeria. Rename it as Nigeria. Cell C3. Have you done that? Okay. If you have done that, click inside cell D3 and rename cell D3 as ECOWAS. That means you select the cell, go to the name box, type the name, and press enter. Have you done that? Good.
you are typing in the cell or
You type in the name box.
in the name box.
Yes.
Not in the cell.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Then the name stuff instead like Nigeria.
Okay. So which are you in?
I need the C.
D3. D3, I said D3 should be what? ECOWAS. And C3 is what? Okay, good. Now let's do some quick demonstration. Locate cell F6. Locate cell F6.
F6.
F6, yes. Have you found it? Okay. Now click inside cell F6. Just click inside cell F6. Are you there?
Yes.
Good. Now go back to the name box and type Ghana and press enter and see what will happen. Tell me what happened. What happened? It took you back to what? So what? B3. That means it's located the Ghana for you because Ghana has been named as a cell. Do you remember we named Ghana as a cell?
Yes.
Or a cell as Ghana?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, no matter where you are, if you type the name of a known cell, the name box will locate it for you. Let me perform a quick calculation over here and show you something. I'm going to click inside. Let me move down here to this cell. This cell is called B6. I want to perform a simple calculation here. Very basic one. I'm putting 5 in cell B6 and I'll put 7 in cell B7. Now in cell B8 I want to see the sum of B6 and B7, or I want to have the addition of B6 and B7 appear in B8. One extremely important thing you should know about Excel, and never forget about Excel, is that anytime you want to perform a calculation, you need to begin with an equal sign. This is one of the things that should stick in your mind. Anytime you want to perform a calculation, you begin with an equal sign. If you don't begin with an equal sign, it means you are entering data. If you begin with an equal sign, it means you are performing a calculation. All right, so because I want to perform a calculation, I click on the cell and I press the equal sign. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to click on this cell and you see the name of the cell, right? B what? B6. So you can get the name of the cell by clicking on it or by typing it. So I'm going to type B6 plus B7. This I'm typing the B7 myself, B7. When you type it and it's correct, it will select it for you. You see that B7 is also highlighted. Okay, so what I have in here is called a formula. Please, are you here? What I have here is called a formula. In Excel, we have formulas and we have functions. We perform calculations with formulas and functions. Please, are you here? Yes. We perform calculations with what? Okay. What I have here is a formula. I'm going to hit enter and I'm going to see the results. Is it correct? Okay, so Excel, once your input is correct, you are going to get the right result. I'm going to use a function to perform another calculation here, and later I will talk about formulas and functions. I'm going to press 5, press 7, and here I'm going to use a function for my calculation. I'm not using a formula. I'm going to use what? A function. So I'll press the equal sign. Because it's a calculation, you need to begin with the equal sign. Then I will type the name of the function. In Excel, you realize that there are several functions inbuilt that you use for your calculations. The function I'm going to call or use is called sum. So after my equal sign, I will type sum. When I put my mouse on sum, it will tell me what sum does. What does it do? It adds all the numbers in a range of cells. So every function has its purpose. So to use functions, you need to know the name of the function you want to use. Okay. So equal to sum, and then I open brackets like this, and I'm going to type B6. Okay, this time I'm using this one, so this one is going to be C6. So C6 column C7. Over here, I'm performing the same calculation using a function. Later, I'll ask you to tell me the difference between a formula and a function. When I hit enter, I'm going to get the same result because it's performing the same calculation. Do you remember the cell we named as Ghana? Okay, I'm going to put 5 in Ghana, and I'm putting 7 here in Nigeria. And inside ECOWAS, we are going to type ECOWAS is equal to Ghana plus Nigeria. Do that and press enter for me. Okay, have you done it? Okay. Now, over here, what we have here is called a formula. And who can explain the meaning of this formula? What does it mean? The formula we have here, what does it mean? Okay, so when you hit enter, what do you get? When I press enter, so it's going to give me what? 12. Now, why did we use Ghana plus Nigeria? I want someone to explain that.
Ghana is a name of a cell.
Ghana is what?
The name of the cell.
That is 100% correct. And then?
And Nigeria is also a name
of a cell. Okay.
So those names are having their various letters or numbers.
Okay.
So when you are adding the two, it means you are adding a number.
Okay.
So when you add a number, because you have named the cells as a country, that is why it is given to that.
Excellent. So the only reason why we are using Ghana and Nigeria here is because there's a cell called Ghana, and that cell has a value 5. There's a cell called Nigeria, that one is giving a value 7. So when I type equal to Ghana plus Nigeria, I said this is a formula. And that formula, the reason why we gave this Ghana is because there's a cell called Ghana, and here too there's a cell called Nigeria. And when you hit enter, the result is 12, because inside Ghana we have 5, Nigeria 7. When you add the 2, you will get 12. That means to create a formula, you have to use the names of the cells. Please, are you with me? To create a formula, you need to use the names of the cells. Go to the cell called Ghana and change the number there to 10 and press enter and tell me what happened in ECOWAS. Okay, so in ECOWAS, the cell called ECOWAS, you see 17. How did it change to 17 and why did it change to 17? Okay. We change the figure in cell B3, which is Ghana. And because there is a formula built into the ECOWAS cell, whatever it sees here, it will perform the calculation automatically. Because a formula has been created inside this cell, whatever happens here, you are not going to enter the results yourself again. All you need to do is to create a formula within it, and the result will be created anytime a figure comes into those cells. Okay. Now, yes, you are lost. Okay, let me give you another example. Inside cell E3, I want you to create a formula that will deduct Nigeria from Ghana. So it's going to be Ghana minus Nigeria. Do that and let me see. In cell E3. Okay, what did you get? You got 3. Okay, how did you create a formula? Who can tell me how to create a formula? The equal sign, and then you type Ghana minus Nigeria. Okay. Now, what we have here is called a formula. Formulas are created by the user. Formulas are created by the user to perform a calculation. Functions are built into the program and are just called or used to perform calculations. The difference between formulas and functions is that with formulas, you have to create the formulas. Based on the names of the cells, you will create your formula. When it comes to functions, you don't create functions. Functions already exist in the program. They are built into the program. All you have to do is to know which one you want to use and you call it. So formulas are built, formulas are created, functions are built in. You don't understand it? Yeah, okay. All right. The last thing I'll say about the name box here is that even though we have renamed certain cells with the name box, the original name still exists for the same cells. For example, I'm here in cell E5. Can you see that? Inside my name box, I'm going to type B3, and it's supposed to locate B3 for me. When I hit B3, it will still locate the B3 for me. Even though the B3 is called Ghana, it is still called B3. So sometimes you can use a user-friendly name for the cells, but the original names will still exist. This is very important. The next bar I'll talk about is here. When you put your mouse on it, what does it say? What do you see here? Formula bar. So this is called the formula bar. This is called the name box. We will be using the formula bar and the name box frequently. So in the formula bar, one thing about the formula bar that I'll talk about now is that when I click on any cell that has a formula in it, the formula bar will reveal the formula in the cell, but the cell itself will reveal the results. This particular cell, there is a formula within it that we created. Do you remember? When you select any cell that has a formula, the formula bar will reveal the formula. Let's click on this. Do we have a formula in this cell? Do we have a formula in this cell? Are you sure? Okay, let's click on it and you see that we have the same figure up here, right? This one doesn't have a formula, so we see the same thing. But any cell that has a formula, you are supposed to see the formula up here. This cell doesn't have a formula. Okay, so it's going to show the formula. When we go down, there is a certain cell here. There's a formula in it, so you see that the formula appears in the formula bar. And we have this cell. There's a formula in it, which is a function, and it shows up here. All right. So we have seen the quick access toolbar, the name box, the ribbon, the formula bar. We've talked about active cell. We've talked about the column number or the column letter and row number. All right. Down here we have some sheets here. Do you see sheet 1?
Yes.
Okay. If you have a plus there, click on it and you see that another sheet will appear. Please, have you seen it?
Yes.
Okay. I want you to right click on sheet 1, right click on sheet 1 and select rename and name it as January. Sheet 2, you rename sheet 2 as February. Okay. All right. Let me quickly talk about one or two things and I'll give you the exercise and we'll wrap up. On the home tab in the charts group, home tab and charts group, we are going to see a number of charts. When you put the mouse on this particular, the first one here that I have selected, you will see that insert column or bar chart. I said on the insert tab in the charts group. Insert tab, charts group. Okay. There are a number of charts. These charts are charts and graphs that we use to represent data. So the first one I've put my mouse on, it says insert column or bar chart. That means the type of chart we will get here, when you click on the arrow, you will see that, click on the arrow next to it, the small arrow, and you see that we have some charts called column charts. And over here we have the 2D version and the 3D version. We'll talk about them later. When you come down here, you see bar. That means we also have bar charts. So column chart, bar chart. The bar chart too, we have 2D and we have 3D. Please, have you seen? Go to the insert tab in the charts group. In the charts group, have you found it? Okay, the question is, what is the difference between the column chart and the bar charts? From the pictures you see, study the 2D column chart or the 3D column chart and study the bar chart and tell me the difference you see. What do you identify? Okay, I'm talking about column chart and bar chart. These are two types of charts, column and bar charts. Study them and tell me the difference between column charts and bar charts. What do you see?
The column bars are vertical.
Excellent. And excellent. So in Excel, whenever we say column chart, please, are you here? Okay. Okay, please, have you seen it? So there's a difference between the column chart and the bar charts. And Jeff is saying the column charts are, the bars are vertical, and the bar charts, the bars are what? So in Excel, whenever we talk about column charts, we are talking about vertical charts or vertical bar charts. And when we talk about bar we are talking about horizontal bar charts. Apart from that, when you move your mouse to the next chart down here, click on it and tell me the types of charts you see. You see line and what? Line and what?
3D line, 3D line, 3D area, 3D area.
Okay, so what we are saying is that over here, even when you put your mouse on it here, they are going to tell you to insert line or area charts. I'm just trying to tell you that there are different types of charts in Excel. Please, are you here? We've seen bar charts, column charts, we have line charts, and we have area charts. The line charts are made up of lines like you see here. The area charts look like the line charts, but the bottom parts are shaded. So they are like line charts with the areas, the bottom parts shaded. Those are called area charts. You need to know the differences between the charts and know when to use each one of them. Now, the next one here, put your mouse on it and tell me what you see. Pie chart or what? Donut chart. Some didn't know that we have donut chart. You thought donut was food, but you can see that we have donut charts. So look at the donut chart and tell me the difference between donut and pie chart. Oh, pie too, we eat pie, eh? Okay. So tell me the difference between the pie and the donuts. What do you see? Just tell me what you see. Okay, so the only difference is that donut has an inner circle. The pie does not have the inner circle. This one is just a 3D pie. This is a 2D pie. So this is how pie looks like. The difference is that the donut has an inner circle. Okay, good. So we've just talked about 3 charts. Over here we have hierarchy charts, we have statistic charts, we have scatter and bubble charts. Here we have waterfall, funnel, stack, surface or radar charts. Here we have what we call combo charts. So there are different types of charts here. I'm pointing them out to you because you'll be asked to select certain charts or identify certain charts. Let me open to the work we are supposed to do for today. All right. Over here, we have some data in Excel, and we have some charts showing here. You are going to be given this particular file to study and answer some key questions. For example, over here we see a question mark, and your job will be to write a function that will perform the calculation for January and review the results here. When I was explaining Excel, I gave you some functions. At least I showed you one particular function. You are supposed to use that function to perform this calculation. At the far right here, you are also supposed to use a function to perform the calculation for this product for the whole year from January to December. So I'll give you this Excel file, and your job will be to fill in all the question marks with functions to perform the calculations. I will demonstrate one for you to see, and I will give you the questions and all that you are supposed to do. Let me go back to the Excel worksheets or workbook we were on before. In the February worksheet, let me come here and enter some data for you to see. So let's say here we have 10, enter 20. What I'm entering their data, so I'm not using equal sign. 40. Let's say, okay, 40. Now here I'm supposed to calculate the total from B2 to B5 using a function. I taught you the name of one function. Who can remember the function I showed you? It's called sum. Okay, I talked about functions and formulas. Right now I'm talking about function. So the function I talked about is called sum. So to use it, you press equal to sum into bracket. What is the name of the first cell here? B2. So either you type it or click on it, it will pick the name. Bring a column and enter the name of the last. Bring a column and enter the name of the last cell. What's the name of the last cell? B5. Let me type it. B5. So when you do that, it will highlight from B2 to B5. Then you close your bracket and you are done using the formula. Remember what I'm doing and you use this to answer the questions. When I hit enter, I'm going to see the total. Good. So I've showed you what you'll be doing or what you have to do. So here, your job is to calculate the totals for each of the months, and at the far right here, you calculate the total for the whole year for each product. You also answer some questions on this chart and the chart here. But first of all, let me ask you, who can tell me the name of this chart? What's the name of this chart? This is a line chart. Line charts are very useful for showing trends. So this particular product in this color, which color is this? No, this one. This one. Okay, it's orange and this is yellow, right? Okay, so the orange product, which product is that? From looking at the legend, which product is that? Desktop, good. So line charts are the best charts to use when you want to identify trends. Now you can see that in January the sales of desktops were quite okay. By February it dropped and it rose again in March. April it went up a little. June it went down. July up a little, and this is how it has performed. So when we use line chart, we want to see the trend of performance, whether it goes up or comes down over a period of time. From here I can tell that desktop is the leading product in December, right? Because I can see from the line chart, and the line chart has its purpose. All the charts we talked about, they are all used whenever they are needed. What type of chart do we have down here? These are bar charts. These bar charts, when you study them by the various quarters, so first quarter, that's from January to March, the bar charts here can tell you can give you some information. So these bar charts are used to compare performance. So over here you will know the various products and you can compare. So if our desktop is still orange, we will know that in the first quarter which product did well the most or did the best. Desktop. So the product that didn't do well is this product here, and you know that is keyboard. Excellent. So I'm going to copy this file for you. If you have a pen drive, you bring it and you come for this file. And I'm going to print your worksheet, your assignment for you. You answer certain questions. Let me open the questions. Yeah, so this is something I'll be giving you, Leslie. Okay, so you answer the question and you complete this particular workbook. On sheet 2, we have some charts here and some places we are supposed to complete. Over here, for example, you are supposed to enter the total sales for the first quarter for this product here called laptop. You have to understand that the quarter is referring to 3 months. So first quarter will be from January to when? March. Now, how do you know the total sales for laptop in the first quarter? You are supposed to use a function to perform the calculation. Let me demonstrate an example for you to see over here. With this particular work, your data is found on sheet 1. Your data is not on sheet 2. The data is on sheet 1. Please, can you see it? Good. But you are supposed to produce a result on sheet 2. How are you going to do that? Let me demonstrate one. I'm going to create another sheet here, and I'm going to rename this sheet as March. Now, let me go back to February and check the data I have. Let me come to C2 and put 30 and put 50 here in D2. I'll go to the next sheet and I'll write a formula or a function that will give me the total of B2, C2, and D2 from this particular sheet called February. So let me go to March and watch this. I'm going to put the results here. So to perform a calculation, you have to begin with an equal sign. You don't have to forget that. Let me enter the name of the function I want to use. I want to use a sum function. I open my bracket and I'm supposed to provide what we call the arguments. Over here, because my data is not on this sheet, I will move to the sheet where I have my data and I will click on the first cell. You can see here that the formula I'm supposed to use is appearing in the formula bar. Over here, I will enter column and I will click on the last cell I want to use. And I'll close my bracket, and you can see how the formula bar is displaying the formulas. This is what it means. I'm using a function called sum into brackets sheet February. The sheet called February is what is here. If we hadn't renamed it, we would have seen sheet 1. So you see the name of the sheet and exclamation mark over here. Then the name of the cell is what? B2. Then we have our column and then the name of the sheet and the name of the cell. Anytime you are working on different sheets, the name of the sheet will appear first, column, the name of the cell. So let me hit enter and it will take me back to my March sheet, and I'm going to see the result over here. In the formula bar, I see the formula I used or the function I used, you see the name of the sheet and the name of the cell, column, the name of the sheet and the name of the cell. If the data is on the same sheet, the name of the sheet will not have to appear. You will just see B2 colon D2. That's not what we did before. The difference is that the name of the sheet is appearing first before the name of the cell. And you can see that the name of the sheet shows, then exclamation will show, the name of the cell will show before your column. So that's the only difference. This is important because sometimes you will have to go to different sheets to fetch data. All right, so I'll give you the work and I will print out your questions for you.